to the final episode of After the After Hours with your boy TraderPrad. The final day of this week is tomorrow going to be a free fall Friday. Now get ready for tomorrow. Powell going on the microphone. Powell going on the microphone again. Get ready for tomorrow. So I do have a watch list ready, but if you guys are ready, hit that like and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe. Thank you guys for all the love. Thank you guys for all the support. This your boy TraderPrad. TraderPrad. But if you guys are ready for this show to get started, why don't we dive into the full screen and hit that like and subscribe. Back. Oh, lights are not on. Let me turn the lights on real quick. Alexa, lights on. And Alexa, lights on. There we go. I got my little bun going on over here. Nice little man bun going. My hair is getting ridiculously long. Maybe it's time to get a haircut, chat, huh? I thought you know I could continue with what I have, but no, if I can put it in a man bun, it is getting ridiculously long. So and I'm also getting a little annoyed with the hair overall. Just the maintenance, the managing of it. You know, I wake up with hair in my mouth. It's just you know, it's too much. It's way too much. I can't handle it anymore. It's not like it's my first time having long hair. I've had long hair before. But this is just getting way too much, and honestly, I'm starting to bald over here. So I don't like this look of balding on the top and then hair on the side and on the back. So time to get rid of it, and time to keep a shorter hair probably. So if you see me with a haircut Monday, don't be surprised. But it's just something I'm thinking about. We'll see what happens coming Monday. But you guys are not here to talk about haircuts and man buns and whatnot. Obi gets away with a bun. Does he still have a man bun? I'm pretty sure he got his man bun cut. Did he not? I'm pretty sure Obi doesn't have a man bun anymore. I can't remember. It's been a while since I saw him, but we will be hanging out tomorrow because there is a poker night tomorrow. So going to go hang out with the head office boys. One last hurrah. It's still there? Okay, then maybe I'm getting confused. I'm getting a little confused. But yeah, one loss, hurrah, at the head office tomorrow. One last poker tournament, because the whole floor is apparently getting ripped out and all kinds of crazy things are happening at that office. So if that's the case, then you know, one last poker tournament with the boys is to hang out. Last time I came second. Let's see if we get up there again or not. Maybe some practice tournaments on Discord. Discord has those free poker games that you can play, so maybe some practice poker games on Discord to build that skill back up, and I can go rob some of my friends over there, who all of them suck, but most of them are not that. Most of them are bad, but a couple of them are not that bad. So will be a fun game. We'll see what happens. But as I was about to say, you guys are not here for all that other garbage. You guys are here to potentially talk about the stocks, right? Look at the stocks that are moving, talk about the stocks that already moved on the day, and think about stocks that could potentially move tomorrow and how we could take advantage of these names. Man, do we want to talk about Palantir? Palantir dropped to $100 after the earnings report. Not really 100. It went to like 108, 106. But after that 106 undercut and rally, boy oh boy was it a rally. You see the stock now back to $120, and you know, just insanity across the board. Nvidia was somewhat strong today, but not as strong as I was expecting out of it. QBTS went up 51%, so that's kind of insane, and it gave you a beautiful short if you were looking for it. Couple other positions, APP basically stood in all of its after our earnings range, but still something to keep an eye out for. Well, what is this? Game developer Triple Dot acquired its mobile gaming portfolio for $800 million. Okay, gotcha. Not that important, I guess, but still, APP in the after hour earnings range, so not really too many opportunities there. But because the stock is like $350, has a wide enough of a range, you can just trade the range all day and still make tons of money if you were just waiting on the edges. But if you were trying to be cute like I was, then you would take a beating on that name like I did. So don't be cute sometimes, just be simple. And simplicity scales, and the complexity fails. And yeah, that's what happened to me on APP today. Surprisingly, a lot of these what are they called? Dating application names: Match, Bumble, Grinder. I know Dieter loves Grinder. You know, all these names over there have been climbing. Grinder has been on an insane rally for quite some time now, and I'm guessing, Grinder reporting earnings. I didn't know they reported earnings after hours. I'll be honest with you there. Probably, you know, something to keep an eye out for, because if Grinder is dropping off of the earnings report like that, potentially the backside is opening for a bigger move downside. So keep an eye out for Grinder tomorrow. We'll actually go through the earnings report and learn more about it. But overall, the other stocks, MTCH, oh my god, MTCH after hours crashing. But Bumble went up today. What was the other one? Grinder, Bumble. I'm trying to remember the other one. I guess MTCH is the other one, and that reported earnings, and they, well, I guess they reported earnings pre-market and they went down. Bumble reported pre-market or after hours yesterday and they went up, and then Grinder didn't even report and they've just been going up for quite some time. And now when they do report, they go to the downside. So okay, lots of names over here for us to keep an eye out for in the I almost call it the sex sector. I don't know why I was gonna call it that, but it's the clearly you know what's on my mind. It's the romance application sector. So that sector is going on the watch list first. MTCH, BMBL, and GRND. So we'll put those three on the watch list. Don't really have a watch list ready yet. Oh, Boeing, that has to go on the watch list. A daily chart breakout on Boeing off of Trump's news today. Ladies and gentlemen, you have an American Pope and On top of that, Trump said, buy. It's a good time to buy stocks. What more do you want? The bottom's in. It's over. The 20% drop you had on the market, the bear market's over. It's bull market. We're making deals all across the board. China's gonna bend the knee. And they're gonna kiss Trump's ring, and we're gonna fly off to the north side. So if you didn't buy the dip, you know, you're a sucker at this point. At least be ready for the potential all-time high breakouts and the 200-day reclaims and so on. I mean, look at that. Market so close to the 200-day moving average, and potentially even reclaiming that tomorrow on some more good news, or you know, next week on some more good news. We could possibly cool off a little bit tomorrow and not really keep flying up. But the way we're moving right now, ladies and gentlemen, you're telling me that it doesn't look like the bottom is in on the market. That looked like a little bit of a dead cat bounce, but that's putting us right back to the north side. Now the only real scare we have is really what is going to happen with China and USA. If that deal falls apart, then yes, maybe we do have a little bit more downside. But with the QQQ right back to the 200-day moving average, with the S&P 500 right back at the 200-day moving average, you have some of the stocks in the large cap sector right back at their 200-day also, but some of them are still under it. For example, Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, they're all still under. Oh, Microsoft actually, off of the earnings report, I'm forgetting, got above the 200-day moving average. So Microsoft, Tesla, sorry, not Tesla, Meta is the one that got above its 200-day recently also. So all of these stocks are now reclaiming a very significant key technical level, technical indicator that a lot of hedge funds and so on use to price themselves off of. You're also seeing the 50-day moving average now look like it's about to bottom out. It is still a slope to the downside, but it's hopefully bottoming out and flattening itself instead of a slope to the downside. You're now seeing, you know, a horizontal and the potentially an upside slope very soon. So once we do get that upside slope tilt coming into play, you know, even more conviction that it's time to buy up positions. For example, today I bought some Robinhood on my personal account, and I told you guys how I'm very eager to look for the long on Tesla above 290. So once 290, 300 we get above here, I am looking for that reclaim. You can call this an undercut and reclaim of the 200-day moving average, and then moving back up to the north side. I don't know if Tesla goes back into you know, $500, but if it does, I would double, triple, not double, triple. I would get 63% gain of my profits of doing that. So I'm very, very interested to do something like that. Like I said, I just did it on Robinhood, and this is not my day trade prop account. This is my personal swing account. So looking to now deploy some of the money that I have sitting on the sidelines and see if I could you know, grow that account a little bit, grow the account, and potentially become a swing trader and no longer a day trader. Then I can sit at home, I can stream to you guys all day, and we can talk about stocks all day. So it'll be very interesting. It'll be fun to see how that opportunity sets up. But at the moment, I'm still a day trader at heart, and still a prop trader at heart. So for now, the swing account is small. We're growing it. We're gonna see how it goes. No options on that one, and I'm very happy with the start here. Also, I think my father bought some Robinhood also. He actually had a better price than me, which I'm pissed off about, and a lot more size than me. So he took more shares and better price. So shout out to Pops. I think he's in at 51.90. I'm in at 52.11. So shout out to Pops on that better entry, and also for a bigger nutsacks because he put more size into the trade. But hey, you know, no risk, no Rari, right? No risk, no Rari. So hopefully I see Pops riding around in a Rari very soon. Robinhood is my vehicle of choice, mainly because BTC USD, if you look at this bad boy, that is, I did call the breakout, right? There's a potential breakout setting up in this area, and Bitcoin giving you exactly that opportunity. You could have taken that on the stock market if you wished, on IBIT, on MSTR. MSTR now going to that Smoke weed every day, price of 420 in the after hours. So hitting that 420 in the after hours to the north side, potentially going even higher in the what would you call it, in the blue ocean market, which is the after hours market. It's the market that starts basically now at 8 p.m. and goes on till 4 a.m. and then the 4 a.m. till 9:30 a.m. is basically pre-market and so on. So this is the overnight markets, the blue ocean markets, potentially trading a little bit higher already. Beautiful move off the 200-day moving average, amazing double bottom, triple bottom, and really nothing more you want from a position, right? You are up 64-68% already if you bought somewhere in these lows around 240 or so on, but it's something that I was looking to short. And I wasn't really bullish at all, so I missed out on a nice run up just playing off a technical. Sometimes you gotta put your bias aside, and I wasn't able to do that on MSTR. But there's still tons of opportunities out there on the market. You know, Nvidia is still under the 200-day moving average. The market, it's not gonna really start going higher without the big tech going higher first. You need some of these Apples and Amazons and Nvidias reclaiming the 200-day moving average. Right now you have about two of them doing that. You have Microsoft and you have Meta. Amazon still under the 200-day, Apple still under the 200-day. What else is there? Tesla still under the 200-day, Google still under the 200-day, and big time under the 200-day now because of the sell-off yesterday the name had, right? So still some weakness across in the big tech, and without the semiconductors really picking up the weight of the market like they were earlier, half of this was just the picking up, half of the move in the market, which is very similar. It is because of the juice that Nvidia poured into the market, with the fuel to the fire, with AI, with the GPU powers that they were processing and so on. So without some of these kind of getting back above the 200, it's gonna be still a very slow and grindy process to the upside. But in my opinion, you know, bull market looks very much in play at the moment. So we'll see what happens for the next few weeks. If we do start building some support above the 200-day moving average, maybe even just buy the market itself, right? Go long QQQ, go long S&P 500. You might not be able to really do better than this most of the time. If you are an active trader and you know what stocks are moving, you're keeping track of all positions across the board, then you can really pick and choose your poison, pick and choose what stocks you want to attack with, and try to get a better percentage than what the market gives you. But you can always juice better than the market if you do it right. Market gives you a 7 to 10% on average. You could get that on Tesla in one day if you just wait for this breakout. You could get a 14% rise on Tesla in one day if you just wait for the breakout level, right? So in my opinion, if you do it right on the swing trading side, you could get a lot more than 10 to 7%. But if you are just an active investor, active swing trader who now wants to deploy some of your money on the side, buying QQQ and S&P 500 and just holding on to it once the bull market kicks back in my opinion, that's going to be once we start holding above the 200-day moving average. You could say it's already bull market at the moment and we have bottomed out, and there's nothing wrong in saying that. But if you want to wait for a better confirmation, then some sort of support above the 200-day moving average is much better for you to actually build into that position and hold for maybe until we push into all-time high, and then see what happens at all-time high. If there is weakness around all-time high, then you take profits over there, and then you look to trim your position, or you add on the all-time high breakout and you just keep going higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. So, you know, tons of opportunities setting up, and these sell-offs on the market are exactly what you want to see. Heaven sent, you know, Trump heaven sent the market opportunity for all of us, and now it's time to capitalize on it. Sadly, if you didn't buy down here because of fear and so on, then you might have missed out on some great opportunities already. But let me tell you what, nothing to be fearful. There's still lots of opportunities out there, and still tons of money to be deployed on the swing account. So I'm ready. I'm excited. Coming back to the day trade account, anyways, which is what we're going to be talking about for the rest of the day. There are some stocks that reported earnings today after hours. For example, Affirm, DraftKings, Mercado Libre, but that stock is not really tradable so I'm not gonna look for a trade on that. Cloudflare, Net, Coinbase, Trade Desk. I remember Trade Desk was struggling not too long ago. They were crashing to the downside, so we'll add to Trade Desk. Coinbase, Marathon, nah, I don't care about Marathon. Net, SoundHound, I'm not sure if SoundHound is even important anymore because Nvidia dumped them, completely abandoned them, so I'm not sure if that stock is even important. But you know what, we'll just move on from that one. We'll put it on the watch list and move on. Enbridge, a Canadian company, reporting tomorrow. Okay, but besides that, there isn't much names out there in the pre-market tomorrow that I'm too interested for. Some of the names that reported today: Shopify, QBTS. That's going to also make me care about maybe some of the other quantum names potentially, just to see if there's a trade over there. AppLovin, obviously, Carvana, ARM. Put those up on the watch list. Cleveland Cliffs we're gonna ignore. Uber, I still want to keep an eye on. Disney, Unity, I'm gonna ignore. SMC, do I really care about that? I don't know. Okay, Palantir, Tempest AI apparently has been making some moves. A-Lab, A-Net, Net and A-Net. Okay, HIMS. But I think that's a good enough of a watch list. That's already a really long extended watch list. My goodness. Apple. Oh no, before I put in Apple, let me throw in MicroStrategy, iBit. Coinbase is already up there. Robinhood. Did I put Robinhood somewhere in here? I did not. So Robinhood. That's about it for that one. Apple, Amazon, Nvidia, Tesla. What else? We got Google, Meta, Microsoft. Anything from this side of the watch list over here? ENPH up 12% following Trump-China trade deal comments on Thursday. Boeing, pretty sure I put Boeing on the watch list, right? I did. Okay, Palantir is already up there, and the rest of the stocks are also on the watch list. So then I guess we just put in QQQ, SPY, IWM, and the Dow Jones. All right, so pretty decent watch list for tomorrow. And let's start at the top of the watch list with some of the dating apps. We got not MicroStrategy, where is it? Match down 9% after announcing it will reduce its workforce by 13% on the earnings report, I guess. That's what they reported. But what is eBay also, I guess eBay only moved because of CNBC comments, but eBay does look good on the daily chart. Honestly, if you look at the daily chart on eBay, and if you're just playing the technicals, eBay looks pretty damn good on the daily chart, man. Let me just go here and zoom out, and you are so close to the all-time high over there too. So if we do break out from here and build some support above here, that could be something to look for along. Obviously, we didn't close above here today, and the volume rise is also very little, so not really too interested. But if eBay starts to build a base above 71.20, 71.50, there could be a potential breakout long here. And you can see how eBay never really got below its 200-day moving average, so that's pretty surprising. You know, I would have not thought people use eBay still for anything, but it makes sense. You know, I think some of the more antique stuff still gets sold on eBay. I was actually looking at the price for my old Xbox 360 and my old Xbox on eBay last night. So I guess people do use eBay. I kind of had to use it yesterday myself. But you know, I was shocked seeing eBay up here today. But coming back to the stock that we want to take a look at, or I want to take a look at, which is MTCH, which I'm pretty sure reported after hours. So where's that report? Or did they report pre-market? Yes, they reported pre-market. Sorry, they reported pre-market. In that case, do I even care? Because the report is clearly not being liked by the stock or the you know, investors and so on, and the stock got absolutely smoked to the downside. The daily levels and so on kind of don't really look relevant on this name, because we're just in the absolute chop to the sideways over here on the daily. Pushing right back into the 52-week low area. If we do pop back into 29, maybe there's a short over there. But I'm not looking to take a breakdown, breakdown type of trade to the downside on this name, given how extended to the downside it is. So maybe on a pop, you can see how that halfway candle today, if I do see some struggle around 29, potentially could look for a short over there. But if the stock reclaims 29, I'm not too interested on a trade really on MTCH, based on the fact that this is not really a fresh earnings name, and neither is Bumble. So Bumble importance is kind of secondary along with MTCH. And if you quickly go take a look at that right here, same idea. But this one actually could give you really good risk to reward. I think, you know, Bumble has a 50-cent ATR, probably, maybe even a little bit lower ATR. Let's go check out what it is. A 25-cent ATR on Bumble. So, you know, much lower ATR than I previously expected. You could probably get away with risking very little and end up with a pretty decent move on this name, especially if it pulls back into $5 and holds $5. I will not be surprised if the stock goes from 5 right back into 5.50, at which point you're risking, you know, probably 5 cents, maybe less than 5 cents depending on your entry, and you're getting 50 cents out of that trade. You can really push size in a position like that, and you know, this is not doing like hundreds of millions of shares, so that could be a little bit of a turn off. It's only doing 13 million shares, but still a pretty good risk to reward opportunity potentially setting up over here on Bumble. And I don't think it hurts to keep an eye out for that level over here at $5, but the priority is still the same. It's a little bit of a lower tier priority for me, because it's a day 2 name. It's not a day 1 name. It's not a fresh name as it is on Grindr. So Grindr, let's go quickly take a look at their earnings report. GRND, looks like Dieter stopped paying those bills for Grindr ever since we made fun of him last time, huh? Is that what happened? Bill Cook, what's up, Bill? How you doing, brother? Hopefully you had a great week so far and ready to close Friday with a bang. EPS in line, and sales is a miss. Okay, sales 93.94 versus 95.39. EPS 09 is in line. Grindr reported anything about the estimates? I want to see about growth over year. So they did grow about 24%, which is from 75.34 million same period last year. They also increased on the EPS. They were previously losing 5 cents per share. Now they reported 9 cents per share for profit. So overall they are growing on both sides, but the stock did not get appreciated at all. Stock got smoked to the downside, and I don't have anything deeper anything deeper Grindr. I don't have anything more on this name at the moment, sadly, through Benzinga, and that's not a good look, Benzinga. You know, how am I supposed to promote your software if you do me dirty like that? But overall, you know, you can see how extended this name is on the daily. I want to go see if the stock has a PE ratio at all, because I'm expecting them to not have one. GRND, no PE, forward PE of 43.92, just about to turn the corner to be profitable. It looks like insider ownership 77%, institutional ownership 16%. Short float, not the smallest, but not the highest either. It's not like Hims, which has a 33%, probably even higher now. Hims is probably what? Let's go take a look at him. Still at 33. Whenever they report next, it'll probably update then. But Grinder at 13%, that's not bad, honestly. 4.7 billion market cap. And if you ask me, a little extended on the daily. Let's also turn on the 5-day moving average. The stock is just basically grinding the 5-day moving average if you look at it. So if we do get below the 5 DMA, potentially worth to really look for a short. So if I go to the chart right here, you can see how the 5-day moving average kind of lands around $23.50. So on any pop into somewhere in that area and we're not able to get above the 5-day moving average, that right there will be a no-brainer short for me on this name, because it is a little extended on the daily, and there could be some profit taking. There could be more downside if we're not finding buyers above this $23 area. So very interested to see how that plays out, and potentially a little bit of a higher priority. But I want to see what Grinder's volume is on the average. So average volume 1.8 million, and today's volume 3 million. Hopefully brings in 6 million volume tomorrow, and you know, some sort of a trade for me to play off of. 23 is the level I want to keep an eye out for. Boeing making a nice pop to the upside off of the news catalyst that what is it, that, I mean, that's almost a one straight move. It did have a little bit back and forth of a couple days, so I guess you could say that's enough of a back and forth for the breakout, sure. But that is very extended for me to look for a breakout on this name. I'm gonna need a pullback and test of supports. For now, that test of support is going to be a very easy number. It's going to be at $190. So is that where today's VWAP is? No, today's VWAP is a little bit higher. But if we do get a pullback into 190, 189, and show some good support around that area, if you also go back to the daily chart and just throw in a line from the most recent consolidation high, you can see how that kind of comes around that 188, 189, 190 area. So looking to see if we do get a proper support being built on the pullback for us to then continue look for the long. The news catalyst was basically, I guess 190 is not really the support, so it's more of an inflection level. So I'm looking forward to see how that sets up. But what was I gonna say? It was a news catalyst that England is going to spend what, $10 billion in the whole trade deal and so on. Potentially it's the way to settle deficits and so on, right? Like, how else would you settle such a big deficit between two countries, where one country doesn't really produce anything at all? You know, for example, America doesn't really produce much other than like maybe Boeing's in that big scale. Boeing is a big product. The planes cost a lot. China already said they're not going to buy a bunch of planes from Boeing, so they kind of now manufactured a deal for Boeing where other countries have to go and buy planes from Boeing and from America, and that also ends up them using that as their import-export trade deals and all other metrics, and they get to use this as a tariff victory for America, right? It makes sense, but it's more of a why the stock is doing what it's doing and what to look for. So if that news catalyst is good, looking for a pullback on 190, showing some support on 190 is going to be the opportunity right there of a lifetime. But if you ask me, you know, you're always one plane crash away from a downside move on this name, so you might want to deploy your capital a little bit carefully on that name. Coming back to the earnings calendar, Trade Desk has made a pretty good recovery after an absolute slaughter fest to the downside. Pretty good recovery over here. Earnings move on top of that, so it's almost like somebody knew something today, and on top of that you had the earnings move, so pretty good upside. I guess right here you can see that 65 low around that first pullback. That's going to be the kind of the under over. If we're not able to stay above 65, then I'm going to be questioning the power of the bounce from here. So for example, if we are under 65 but we do bounce off of today's high, then the chance are the stock is trading within this range, if that's the chart right there, if that's what's going to play out. But if we have something like this, then the chances are we get something like that, right? So a little bit more interesting of a chart when you get support off of here, then a little bit of a battle between yesterday's high, or not yesterday's high, between the after hour high and then a potential breakout of after hour high, maybe off the open, maybe off of the 10 o'clock opening range breakout, and then you get to a beautiful move to the north side where the stock just continues rallying and it makes a good trajectory recovery back up north. So let's go take a look at what the report is real quick on Trade Desk. Climbs after Q1 EPS revenue beat. Estimate details. Let's go take a look at this one. 33 cents versus 25 cents. Awesome. 616.02 versus 584.27. This is a 25.4% increase, also good. And the outlook for the second quarter revenue to be between 682 versus 685 versus the estimates of 682 versus the estimate of 685. So you're actually missing the estimate slightly, but it's not that big of a miss, I guess. But the market or investors just liking the fact that this stock is finally maybe correcting some of its wrongs and recovering the faith in investors. So that's all that I care about. If you're recovering faith in investors and you're able to show me support above 65, I'm more than happy to look long on the day trade. So keep an eye out for this name for sure. Trade Desk, support 65, inflection 65. Coinbase, I know this one's important. They actually moved right back to the downside. Oh, who knew about that, huh? Who would have thought? Someone keeps telling me that Coinbase is a great company to invest in, and no matter how much I tell them, nope, Coinbase is trash. You might as well put your money in MicroStrategy than Coinbase, because Coinbase is not the only cryptocurrency broker out there, and they're also not the best anymore. Their competition is actually doing almost a way better job than they are now. So Coinbase, I don't know how they're gonna battle with some of the big boys out there. They're not the big boys like Binance and some of the other. I think Coinbase still trades the biggest volume out there out of all of them. Maybe some of the other ones have caught up, but overall they're losing. Well, I shouldn't say that because, I don't know if they're actually losing, because last time they were actually growing in customers. But from my understanding, they're losing a lot of customers to Robinhood, to Webull, and all these other actual brokerages that also are adopting cryptocurrencies. Today you got a news that Meta is adopting cryptocurrencies, so more adoption of cryptocurrency across the board is actually happening. So something that I said, until that happens, I'll eat my words, or I'll still be hating Bitcoin, which I guess now I'll have to eat my words because it's actually happening. The wide adoption of Bitcoin. Still gonna hate it. Coinbase reported first quarter revenue 2.03 billion versus estimates of 2.12. Miss 1.64 versus, damn, okay. What is this? Revenue was up from 1.64 billion in the last quarter and down 10% from 2.27 in the fourth quarter. Okay, transaction revenue was 1.26, up from 1.08 and down 19% quarter over quarter. Subscription services revenue 698.1, which was in the company's previous guidance range. Revenue segment was 9% quarter over quarter. This quarter we made meaningful progress. Bitcoin up 27% trading volume and 26% of transaction revenue, nearly identical to 27% of both metrics in the fourth quarter. I don't think that's a good thing at all, because you want to see more, not equal or less. Solana, XRP, where's the guidance for the second quarter? Subscription and services revenue in the range of 600 to 680. April transaction revenue for the company was $240 million. So you know, I did see some downs, and I guess that's the important metric over there. I'm not seeing you know, like, are they still growing on their user base? Are they still growing on the transaction revenue side? So might need to dive a little bit deeper. I'm just trying to skim the report over here because it's already 8:40 and I'm only down like 4 stocks on the day, so gotta go through a lot more and rapidly. So trying to just skim through the report, but obviously not being appreciated by the market and pushed back to the downside. My beef with this trade at the moment, honestly, is until Bitcoin pushes down, it's going to be a hard trade to look short on Coinbase. And also look at this beautiful range Coinbase is building. Until Coinbase gets below that range low, there is no short at all. So 190, 150 needs to break and needs to start holding under it. So until that happens, there is no short on this name at all, and I might just completely ignore it because you know, Bitcoin is soaring, Bitcoin is breaking out, and if I'm going to trade anything related to cryptocurrencies, it's going to be to the upside, and it's going to be the ones that are actually following Bitcoin. So it's going to be IBIT, MSTR, Robinhood, and so on. Okay, NET also reported today after hours, and they, ooh, wow, okay, first to the downside and then right back to the north side. 135, 138. What is that on the daily chart? Let's quickly zoom out over here. Nice hold on the 200-day moving average. Nice breakout off the earnings report, breaking out of the previous earnings report VWAP, kind of also potentially breaking out of the right there, the all-time high. Is that the all-time high? Let me correct myself. Yes, no, it's not the all-time high. The 52-week high anchored VWAP. So breaking the 52-week high anchored VWAP, breaking the previous earnings VWAP and moving back up to the north side. Now it's basically at what, 140-ish or so. So ideally, if the stock pulls back into 130 tomorrow, I think somewhere to the downside over there, I'm looking for a long. I'm not looking for too much of a breakout. Where is the earnings VWAP today? It is at 130. It's basically at 131. So in that whole range of 130 to 131, potentially could look for a long on this name. And surprisingly enough, that's kind of where the last VWAP is too. The last earnings VWAP is 130. This earnings VWAP right now is also at 130. So a little bit of multiple confluence levels to play off of. So keeping an eye out for that certain inflection level for an opportunity to play with. I'll give it a purple level for now. SOUN. They did get dumped by Nvidia, but they are reclaiming the 200-day moving average. So if the stock gets above $10, I think there's a trade there. Oh, never mind, it's now back to the downside, back below $9. So potentially a short there to keep an eye out for. I mean, that is a decent range. So getting below 885, there could be something to keep an eye out for on this one. Getting below, yeah, 850, 885, you could open up some room back into $6 and so on SoundHound. But I think I'm gonna not give it as big of a priority, or even I'm not gonna care about it at all, honestly. DKNG where most of my money goes into every single time, every single Saturday. Don't tell my parents that. DraftKings, let's go see where it is at the moment. Miss on revenue, miss on guidance. How is that possible? You steal my money every goddamn night. I meant Saturday, sorry, not night. I'm not an addict. Up 20% year over year on the revenue. Okay, 12 cents, missing estimates of 22 cents. 1.41 billion reported, missing estimates of 1.44. So they did miss all across the board, but they are still growing 20% year over year. Monthly unique players up 28% to now 4.3 million. Would have been up 11% without the jackpot acquisition, which closed in the quarter. Average revenue $108, down 5% year over year. That's not a good thing. You know, you really want to be making more money per person, but I guess now people are getting smarter, or they're betting less, right? That's what it kind of indicates too. But even though that's happening, even though you're generating less revenue per monthly unique player, you are still generating a 20% growth year over year. But not hitting the estimates is never looked as a good thing on the market, right? Lower revenue was due to the jackpot customers. Okay, what's next? Expects to launch sportsbook in Missouri and a bunch of other states and so on. Company lowered its full year guidance. That's not a good thing, but the stock popped up in the after hours. Okay, lowered its full year guidance from previous range 6.3 to 6.6 to a new range of 6.2 to 6.4. Not that big of a range drop. The company also cut its full year adjusted EBITDA guidance from a range of 900 million to 1 billion to a new range of 800 to 900 million. Also a drop, but not that big of a drop. Said the guidance changes were due to mostly due to positive outcomes for customers during the quarter. Oh, okay. Winner, 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 chicken dinner. People are taking money away from DraftKings these days. Positive outcomes for customers during the quarter. You're telling me people have been winning quite a bit of money that these guys have to now let me actually take a screenshot of this and send it to my buddy who's a professional gambler, an actual professional gambler, and he's profitable, a profitable professional gambler who takes money away from sports betting. So you know, he's gonna laugh seeing that one, because I think he uses DraftKings, right? Well, he uses a bunch of sports books, but it's pretty funny seeing this because he might be one of the reasons why you know, that's happening. If not for, where are we, guidance? Okay, for the customer, if not for customer friendly sports outcomes in March, we would be raising our fiscal year 2025 revenue and adjusted EBITDA guidance. Ooh, okay. DraftKings price action says the stock is up 9.3% at the time of the earnings report, even though they missed. You can see how they missed. They're guiding lower. The stock went up on the earnings report. So either something on the conference call, or you know, market just saying we like the call, we like the call, we like the call, or we like the company, we like the company. So nice pop in the after hours, pushing right back into the 200-day moving average area. Not really, but almost pushing right back into the 200-day moving average area. Will be hard to look for a breakout above this, but if we do have support above 36, 66, 37 as a support tomorrow, then I am interested for a long on DraftKings. So I'm gonna put 36.50 as the important level to keep an eye out for on DKNG. Affirm. Why does Discord keep coming in the way? Get out of my way, Discord. Oh yeah, it's because I just sent the screenshot to my buddy. That's right. Affirm, nice little breakout on Affirm, but I thought the stock went down on the report. Yes, it did go down on the report. So bring in Benzinga for this one. Affirm. Affirm. Affirm Holdings, 1 cent per share, beating estimates of a loss of 3 cents per share. This is 133% beat, I guess. This is a 102% increase from same period last year, which was a loss of 43 cents per share. Company reported 783 million, beat the estimates of 783 million. Okay, 35.92 increase over sales of 576 from same period last year. All things look good so far. Where is this correction? What are you correcting? I'm not sure exactly what they're correcting, but I guess I did read the corrected post overall. Guidance, we're expecting Q4 outlook 810 to 840 versus raises from 810 to 840 to 815 to 845. Nothing really. And the guidance estimate, or sorry, the estimate for the revenue was 841, so they're just kind of fluffing the numbers a little bit with that raise. I mean, you're just changing the window by 5 million a little bit on both sides, and you're just like trying to fluff the numbers. I don't buy it. But you know, decent beat though. You know, 102% beat of EPS, showing profit instead of a loss. You were expected to show a loss, you're finally reporting a profit. You also increased by 35% revenue year over year, but the market currently not liking the report and flushing into the downside. I think the fact that it's pushing right back into the 200-day is not the best thing, especially after the little breakout that you had over here. That's almost like Robinhood breaking out and then pushing right back down tomorrow. That's not going to be fun for me to keep looking at that as a swing trade, right? So if this happened to you as an affirmed buyer, if you're a buyer in this range and you just saw the stock report the way it did, but not have any buying power around the 200-day moving average and just push right back below it, it's now trading below the $50, it's trading at 48, 49, then are you really going to be looking to get long on this name? So that's the simple psychological trade right there, in my opinion. If a firm doesn't reclaim the $50 area, there's just no more long. Is there a short? Potentially a short there, given that it's an earnings name, and you know, we are getting right back below a little bit of most recent consolidation ranges over here. We are getting right below the 200-day moving average, so there could be a move into $45, $46 on a pop and reject near 49, near 450. But you know, the report wasn't that bad. I could easily see buyers stepping back in and pushing the stock back into the $50 area and back above $50 area. So if it's holding 50, there's just no more shorts for me at all. But if it's below 50, I'm interested to see if there's a short over there on this name. I'm okay with looking long also. If there is an opportunity to get long on that position, I'm also interested to see how that plays out. Wolf dropping right back to the downside. We're gonna move past that name and not care about that one too much. I see Barkit talked about UPST, so maybe we can quickly go to UPST because that one's not really on my watch list. I think the importance of UPST really dies down because you know, as for a day trade now, the better level is kind of just waiting for the push into the range high and then either shorting off the range high or looking for a breakout of the range high. And there is really no more trades in this range over here. For a swing trade also, I think there's really no more trades. Maybe you can say, you know, if you're bullish off the report, you can get long at the range low, get long around today's ranges and risk this candle's low and see if you can get a move into 200 and then a move above 200. But then why not just wait for a breakout, for that breakout to set up, and then you can catch that ride where actually technicals are cleaner, you know, stock looks much better, where buyers potentially step in. Nothing wrong with buying in this area in my opinion, but if I'm looking for a swing trade, even more over the fact that I don't really know what the hell UPST does. I don't think anyone does. You know, they say AI lending, whatever, dude, but you know, no one knows what the stupid company does. If I'm interested for a simple clean trade on the daily chart, for a swing trade, then I much rather just wait for a breakout of 53 and then get in the long, or then wait for a dip and hold above 53 and then get in the long. So UPST is just not that important. And Microsoft, you said we can circle to Microsoft later on in the stream, which is it's on the watch list, so we'll circle over to that in a bit. Coming back to the watch list over here, already 8:50. God damn. Thankfully, I ate my lunch much earlier today. I need to do that a lot more. Eat my lunch as soon as I get home. That way, I'm not starving through my streams. Whew. An hour talking without water. Oh my god. We need to take more water breaks, chat. I need to set a timer on screen that pops up like probably every 30 minutes, every 15 minutes to just take a sip of water. How about we do something fun like that? And then everyone drinks a sip of water, and we also do some quick stretches. Oh, good stretch. I bought PFE at 22.59. I caught the bottom TraderPrad while selling forward at the resistance. Go me. You know, Momo. Go you. You go. You always, keep doing the good things and the right things. So always proud of you, Momo. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Shopify almost got to break even today. Did sell off the earnings report, but almost getting to break even. Let's see if Shopify does a little bit of an undercut and then rally. If it does a reclaim, you've seen a lot of these stocks recently where they drop off the earnings report and then they pop right back up. Well, only one maybe now, which is Palantir. But if Shopify does that, Robinhood also did something like that actually, right? Robinhood dropped off the earnings report. Their earnings report wasn't actually like a banger earnings report, but decent earnings report, and now moving back up. MicroStrategy did something like that. Looked a little scary off the earnings report. Looked like it was gonna go down, but now Bitcoin rallying. This one's popping right back up, and Coinbase could very easily do that, but I don't think Coinbase's report is good enough to do anything like that at all. So Shopify, potentially something like an undercut and rally around the 200-day moving average. I might even be using that term wrong, but big opportunity here setting up if we do find support back above this $95 on a swing scale and so on. I would love to potentially even buy some Shopify on my personal account if we actually look a little bullish around this area and start building energy for some support here. Again, now your support is your risk is at the low of the earnings candle low basically, and then you're looking for a nice breakout. You can add on the breakout and you can start looking for some covers into 111 and some moves back into 130 and then even more and even more and even more. So it's just like, what opportunities do we... Oh, I thought they were calling me. So you're just looking for some opportunities like that, like a support kind of being built in, especially if today's midpoint 92 starts to find some support, then you want to take advantage over there too. So I'm gonna put in 90. I guess 95 is an inflection. Give me a second, chat. ramen, like the Japanese style? Okay, I'll try. Okay. All right. Shopify 95. Oh, my room's getting a little cold too. Give me a second. Getting a little chilly in here, chat. You guys see the rocket ship logo here? Because the market is back into full-on bull mode, baby. When Trump says buy the stocks, that it's time to buy stocks, it is time to buy stocks, okay? When Trump Daddy says it's a good time to buy, you knew what happened last time, and you don't want to miss the train this time. The trend is the trend as the trend, okay? 92, you could look for potentially supports over there. QBTS, monster move, 50%, I guess. IonQ and a bunch of other stocks also popped up, but they got sold off a little bit after that pop. So potentially, this actually held the 20-day moving, or sorry, the 200-day moving average really well. Wow. Potentially some juice coming back into the food. Potentially some juice coming back into these IonQs. What are the quantum names? So keeping an eye on them for sure. IONQ. So gonna keep an eye on them, but I don't really have concrete levels that I want to trade these off of, or concrete ideas that I want to be applying on these, but I'll be watching these for sure. I don't know what I want to do with these at all, but I'll be watching it. This is actually very good looking daily chart, man. Like, buy the dip, enjoy the rip. If you believe in the quantum computing future, enjoy the rip. Buy the dip, enjoy the rip. Let's go away from that one. Talk about something that might give you some opportunities tomorrow. APP. So APP also had that level right there around 360, the most recent consolidation range high, and that level came right back into play. Today's low was right around 340, 339. So if we do get, I guess we did get below that later on in the day. So I guess not. It's not that big of a trade anymore. Yeah. No, APP is not, and also it's a spready name. The liquidity on that sucks, so I'm gonna move away from APP. Carvana is interesting. Carvana is a little interesting, so gonna be watching Carvana for sure, more than APP, and somewhere around this 280 earnings VWAP is 282. So if it does have some extra RVOL tomorrow, the daily chart doesn't show a midpoint because the volume candle is not 2 times the volume candle as the previous one. However, the intraday candle of the stock, the bar is 2 times the candle of the previous one. So kind of a little important for the midday over here, which or the midpoint, which is kind of around 280, 281. But I'm not sure if I can use that as a concrete level to play off of, or like a serious level to play off of. So I'm not gonna really have a plan at the moment. I'm gonna be very fluid with it to see how it plays out. If it gives me a good setup tomorrow, then I might try to take advantage of that setup tomorrow. ARM making a little bit of a move to the downside today off the pre-market and after hours yesterday because they reported earnings, but move right back up to the north side afterwards, as expected. So it also actually had the exact high of what I said it would today, the 120 high. So if you were looking for a short around 120, you would have been able to get some really good shorts on this name. But I don't think ARM is a stock to keep an eye on for the next few days. If I really care about an earnings names, I think we got some better earnings names over here to keep an eye out for. Palantir, honestly, a much better earnings name to keep an eye out for. But if I want to care about a semiconductor name, it's for sure not ARM. It's going to be NVIDIA. Quickly taking a look at AMD, see how AMD is doing. It's actually holding above 100 now, so that's pretty good. You know, higher lows, higher highs coming into play. AMD's trying to go back up north, Nvidia's trying to go back up north, and Nvidia actually bounced off of what, 115.50 area today. 115.85 was today's low. That was the level I was talking about yesterday, 115.50. So kind of going in there, testing for support and bouncing off of that. And tomorrow, if we do get a good rally on the market, I don't see how Nvidia doesn't go above 120. So opportunities on the semiconductor sector. A lot of people are actually watching the semiconductor sector very closely, so I think that's going to be a better stock to keep an eye out for instead of ARM. Uber, little disappointing today. I was expecting a move back up, but maybe it's just a little slow to the party. But watching Uber for sure. Disney going higher and higher. I tried to get long on that one today, was not able to. Palantir, kind of the only one that matters at the moment, I guess, off this whole bunch. I'll be very surprised to see Palantir at 125 tomorrow. It tried to get above 120 today. Did it get above 120? It did by 38 cents. So, oh yeah, I remember because I tried to short that, and then I caught the short later on back below 120. Apple also struggled at 200 today for quite some time, and it gave you a very good short near 200, which I was able to catch. So simple levels like that are always on watch. So 120, 125 on Palantir, Apple 200. Simple levels. ANET is another one on earnings board, but I don't really keep an eye on ANET or ALAB today. How did these stocks move? Not too interesting, but ALAB could have a potential breakout coming in very soon. Very similar to kind of like the Tesla pattern, where it's below the 200-day moving average and setting up for a potential breakout right below the 200-day to the upside. So if that comes into play, maybe something to keep an eye out for your swing and your day trades and your investments and so on. But I'm not sure what ALAB even does, honestly. Semiconductors, okay. I'll have to do a little bit more research about what these guys actually do and if it's even worth it. But like I said, if I want to trade semiconductors, I might just go buy SOXL or Nvidia alone instead of buying you know, some of these other no-name companies that I've traded but I've never really heard of, as in what they do and how important they are to the ecosystem and so on. Robinhood, that's a pretty important name for tomorrow in my opinion, not because it's in my personal account, mainly because of how good of a day it had today. So if it does show support tomorrow, looking to see if there's a opportunity to get a day 2 over there. HIM's looking bullish again. I guess it did close red today, but it looked fairly bullish for some part of the day. But this is a neutral day, honestly, in my opinion. Very much in yesterday's range, bounced off of yesterday's VWAP, so very much a neutral day here on HIMS. And you know, still looking to go crazy, still looking to go parabolic and extended. I wouldn't be surprised if this has a round 2 of burning the shorts and squeezing. You can see how it had a round 1, then it kind of built some shorts in, and all the shorts were happy, and then some of the shorts who didn't cover are possibly covering on the way up over here. That's why you're getting that squeeze. But on the way up, if you're seeing more shorts getting in again, and once those shorts, their stops getting burnt out too, then a bigger squeeze, and it's just a reuse, recycle, and a constant move to the upside. So HIM's always on the watch to see if something crazy like that plays out. Barkey wanted us to take a look at Microsoft. Microsoft is having a beautiful move and a reaction off the earnings report. You can see how it's built a flat top around 440 for the last few days, and today we break above the 440, but sadly don't have any juice above 440 at all. We actually closed below 440, which is pretty sad. Ideally you want to see it close above 440, so I'm expecting an opening drive run up and then a fail. What happened? So midday run up on volume, midday run up on volume, and then I guess a late day sell off into the close after not having too much juice, but still a very bullish pattern over here. This bullish pattern doesn't die out until we get below the 425 area to the downside. So if you're looking to get long here, you know, I don't think it's a bad idea at all, but keep in mind that there's a big gap over here that can very easily be filled if you know, the China deal does not come out to be in the positive direction. That gap could first drop into the 200-day moving average, then even more to the downside if things get worse. So you got to be able to stomach that loss and size appropriately, where if it does drop to the 200-day moving average and it fails to hold the 200-day, then at that point you take a loss, and that loss is something that you're okay with losing. But if you're not okay with buying here, watching it go to the 200-day and then see if it can hold or not, then you might as well wait for a move to the downside and then wait for a bigger hold, or just wait for a different setup to play on. So a bunch of opportunities over there. As for a day trade, I just don't like trading Microsoft as a day trade. It's the volume on this and the price of this name is just not too exciting. You know, Nvidia and Tesla do a lot better volume on a daily basis, and they have you know, better ATRs. I guess not better ATR, because I'm pretty sure Microsoft has a higher ATR than Nvidia. I think. But it's just the liquidity. Tesla and Nvidia are super stocks, so I don't really care to trade Microsoft as much for a day trade. Google got smoked and kind of just traded sideways today. Not any juice over there. Tempest AI. Tempest AI having a pretty good day 2 reaction. Wow, okay. This one was the Pelosi stock, and going right back up to the north side. Pretty sure Pelosi covered, I'm not sure if she did, but potentially covered an AI healthcare technology name, if I remember correctly, and having a day 2 reaction to its earning on the breakout. So not bad at all. Maybe on the pullback, potentially some sort of a day 3 play. Day 2 earnings is day 2 earnings VWAP. Well, I guess not, that's not the way to put it. Day 2 VWAP would be $63.50 or $63. So if the stock pulls back into 63 and holds 63, there could be a potential long there. 62 to 63 is something to keep an eye out for on Tempest AI. $62 to $63. The rest of them, I'm just gonna leave that for the pre-market to see if there's anything over there that I could take advantage of on the rest of them. Apple 200 has been a very important level. Would love to see if Apple can reclaim that $200 area tomorrow. Why did I close that? I'll be needing that. If you guys are interested in any of the tools that I use to day trade, you can get discounts by checking out the links below in the description. Flash Research, Trade Ideas, TraderSync, Benzinga, all the discount codes and the links are all down below in my link tree. Make sure you go check it out. Also, all my social links are right up top over here: YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Patreon if you want to support me on Patreon. And here's a special link that I think everyone should go check out. It just shows you how much work I put into trading, but sadly it goes absolutely nowhere. The reward is zero. Hopefully it rewards one day. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the stream for tonight. Quickly going over to the econ calendar before we call it a night. It is somewhat of a busy econ calendar, I guess. Not really. There is no 3-star events, but there are a bunch of Fed members talking tomorrow. 6:45 a.m. That's before the market even opens. Doesn't matter. But this one over here, Fed member Waller, Fed member Williams, they talk around 11:30, and then it's just basically smooth sailing for the market, given all the positive sentiment and all the positive hoopla going around on the market. You know, Trump saying buy the stock market, it's gonna soar like it never did again. It just does not make sense to be bearish anymore, in my opinion, honestly. So if we do reclaim the 200-day moving average on the market, you gotta be ready for that big picture long, that big picture positioning coming into play across the board on all instruments, and be ready to do so yourself. If you don't do it, then nothing wrong with it, but don't be upset when you miss out on the train. So there could be some fun setting up tomorrow going into next week, especially if the trade deals and the tariff news all start coming out in the right direction. So looking forward to see how that all sets up. Trump says buy, you buy. It's that simple. We learned it from last time. There is no more IPOs for the rest of the week, which is good. Today's IPOs were absolutely boring and nothing at all, nothing burger trades. I told you that would happen, and it played out exactly that way. But there is an IPO next week, which we'll talk about next week. So eToro, another financial broker instrument company, you trade stocks through them. So they're IPOing next week, and we'll talk about them then. Momo says you did not talk about Intel. Well, I don't care about Intel, so I'm not going to talk about Intel. Intel's useless to me. I don't trade Intel. Intel's a garbage name stuck in a stupid range for forever and ever and ever. All right, that's basically the stream of the night, ladies and gentlemen. 9:15, 8 p.m. I gotta go do some chores, and then I gotta do some homework. And then I gotta go watch some Leafs games. Well, I don't think the Leafs are playing today, are they? I don't think the Leafs are playing today. Who's playing today? Capital and the Hurricanes. Capitals are winning. Okay. Maple Leafs play tomorrow. That's going to be interesting because I got the poker game tomorrow. That's going to be the Panthers home game. And obviously this goddamn hater is going to keep saying Panthers, go Panthers. He's an absolute hater. The Jets lost yesterday to the Stars. Okay. What else? That's about it. And what's going on in the NBA? I know the what's it called? The Nuggets got spanked yesterday. My God, Denver Nuggets got absolutely spanked. This game is something I want to actually watch, so I'm gonna get off. Oh boy, Minnesota is actually dookie-ing on Golden State Warriors, which is exactly what I want to see. And hopefully Anthony Edwards is killing it. Hopefully Anthony Edwards is absolutely slaying. He's 7 points in. That's it. I guess it's better than nothing, which is what he had last game all the way up to the second quarter, all the way up to the third quarter even. He had no points until the third quarter. Who's scoring for the Golden State Warrior? Draymond Green is not scoring, which is good. I guess he just scored. He scored a 3. No way he just scored a 3 in front of my face. Did he? Is there a play-by-play for this? I'll go figure this out. I'll go watch this game on my own thing. Celtics upset. Yes, Celtics are getting destroyed. New York, well, not destroyed, but 2-0 Celtics or 2-0 Knicks is actually insane. The favorites are getting, eliminated, which would be insanity. I think all sports books had Celtics to win the championship again. So watching them go down like that is actually insane. The amount of money people are probably losing by taking that is hilarious. Now Celtics is no longer the most expected to win. Now it's OKC. So wow, there's still some good opportunities over here. If you're a betting man, you could probably take Cleveland Cavaliers if you believe in them. If you believe in Brunson, Cat, and who else? OG Anunoby. You can take the Knicks. If you believe that Boston still has it, you can take Boston. Or if you believe the Nuggets, Joker, Aaron Gordon have it, then you can take this. It's actually crazy that the Youngin team is the favorite to win. That's pretty cool. My money obviously is on Minnesota Timberwolves. And what about hockey? Not NFL. What about NHL? What's going on over there with the Stanley Cup prediction? So now Toronto Maple Leafs is actually a plus 550. They were at a plus 800 or a plus 1000. Now they're at a plus 550, 550. So it's much closer now. The numbers are actually much closer. Dallas expected, Edmonton after that, Carolina after that, and then Maple Leafs. Florida Panthers, who are the previous championship winners, are not even expected to beat the Maple Leafs at the moment. So, wah, wah, wah. Hey, by the way, FanDuel, if you want to sponsor me, I can talk about sports betting every day. Come sponsor your boy TraderPrad. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to head out. Thank you for hanging out with me. Have a great weekend and have a banger day on the market tomorrow, okay? Good luck out there. Apply good risk management and stay patient and stay disciplined. TraderPrad out. Peace.
Get ready for the watch list for tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm gonna bring in my big screen over here, back to another brand new week of After the After Hours with your host TraderPrad. I'm doing great. Hopefully you guys are joining me on that great side. Markets are moving around. Might just be a risk on type of day, so let's see what happens. 8 o'clock tomorrow. As you guys know, we do the stream Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Shout out to my affiliate sponsors, Benzinga, Trade Ideas, the #1 scanner to go to, Trader Sync, promo code down below, promo code PRAD15 to get 15% off. I will catch you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock, same time, same place. Until then, TraderPrad out. Adios.